8:16 on this Saturday morning, which for some areas has started out cloudy. We've had some pockets of low cloud cover, fog, even a little drizzle. Other areas are seeing the sun. Temperatures are comfortably cool, though, area-wide. Only 54 right now at the Century Casino in Cripple Creek, and you can see fairly overcast conditions up there right now. We've had a little bit more sun in Woodland Park. It's also been breezy at times across the higher terrain. Looking pretty gray as viewed from Mugabug Pest Control out on the southeast side of Colorado Springs, US 24 and Peterson Road. North side of town had a little bit of light rain a couple of hours ago. Seems like that's all come to an end now. So we're tracking water in the air, and there's a lot of it. Water vapor imagery picks it up in the mid and upper parts of the atmosphere that we're interested in. All that milky white just says, yeah, there it is, floating over the state. So we have the monsoon flow to work with. We also have a good bit of water at low levels. This courtesy of a front that's backed up across the area. The darker green on the map suggesting that we'll keep a lot of moisture in place at lower levels too. So with moisture at all levels of the atmosphere, there's a lot of rain that could fall if we get the storms to develop. Right now, 60s across most of eastern Colorado, 50s and 60s over the higher terrain. Problem yesterday for many of you that didn't get the rain, or at least the heavier rain, it was too cold. Today, well, we think we might have a little bit better chance to warm up. Skycast shows a mixture of clouds and sun through about lunchtime, with the first showers beginning to develop mainly over the higher terrain. They will then begin to move off to the east here by mid to late afternoon, and some of the oranges and yellows on the map suggesting that some of the stronger cells could in fact produce some heavier rain. Looks like along and south of the Arkansas River, 80s and 90s, while 70s will be in place north of the river. So we have a little frontal boundary kind of draped right along the river. The heaviest rain today will occur with storms that develop along and north of that front. So the position of that front becomes pretty important with regard to where the storms develop. But you see a pretty good cluster of storms coming off the higher terrain and headed east this evening. All of these will have the potential to produce some heavy rain, and should they interact with areas that have had heavy rain or burn scars, then sure, we'll have that potential for some flash flooding as they drift off to the east. StormTracker shows quite a few areas here where you see the oranges and reds on the map where maybe that potential will exist. Also notice we have quite a bit of this across the Pikes Peak region, which really didn't happen yesterday. So I do think you're going to have to be aware of that potential later on this afternoon and this evening. Tomorrow we may still have some decent storms around, but they shouldn't be quite as numerous, and as we begin to dry out, temperatures should start to warm. Now, notice we keep storms in the forecast each day next week, but they're going to decrease significantly in coverage and intensity. So we'll be talking about just brief showers and some shade and maybe some cooling wind. And we'll probably need it because we'll get back up into the mid-80s, and that'll be true till probably next Friday when the next cold front looks to arrive. Pueblo will creep back up into the 90s through the middle of next week. Don't think your chances for rain are very good after this weekend until perhaps next Friday. Overnight lows mainly in the 60s. Canyon City looking for rain chances to be on the decrease the next few days as well. Certainly today is our main concern. Now, we won't rule out maybe a rumble of thunder Tuesday or Wednesday, but again, not looking for a lot of rain there. Perhaps by next Friday that will change. Mountain communities will continue to feast on the monsoon flow, so daily storms should be expected. But as is true for lower elevations, we think the trend will be for storms to become spottier in coverage and generally not as strong as we're going to get probably today and maybe even tomorrow in some cases.
Gotcha. Yeah, definitely a big change from that heat we were feeling for a couple days in a row, more than that actually. But I feel like it's kind of coming as a relief to a lot of people, cooling it down a little bit.
I spent half the night on a trampoline sleeping with my daughters outside. It was too hot in the house a couple of days ago.
Nice.
But then the last couple of days it was in the 60s in the house at night. So it's been very nice.
Yeah, it's kind of a nice balance, a little compromise. All right, Marty, thanks so much.
You're welcome.